Now, effectively pricing a product is something that a lot of brand founders get hung up on, but there are four main methods you can consider insofar as setting prices. The first one is cost plus pricing. Essentially, you're going to set your price relative to what it costs you to deliver a unit. This is very helpful to be able to set a floor for your pricing, because if you don't consider your costs, then you might not actually make any profit. That being said, your cost per unit tends to be a lot higher at the beginning, whether that be through dropshipping or even if you're purchasing inventory, just because your order quantities are lower, so you have less negotiating power. So while you can factor in eventual cost savings into your pricing, it's better to keep a buffer. Cost plus is just the starting point for how you should be thinking about your pricing. It sets that floor, like I said. The second element to look at is your competition. Naturally, your brand or product doesn't exist in a vacuum, and your customers are going to be looking at what other people are charging for something similar. So you do want to differentiate your product as much as possible so that people aren't necessarily thinking of it as a commodity to compare to other brands. And where possible, you want to position your product so that people compare you to the brands that you want to be compared to. Ideally, those that are a little bit more higher priced. But the point is that you can't ignore what other people are charging in the market. The third one is value-based pricing, and it's a little bit of an offshoot of choosing your competitors. This comes down to positioning your product to people in the market who are going to get more value out of it. So a super high quality microphone has more value to a person who's a singer than to me doing Zoom calls. Being able to establish your product as having high value isn't always easy because it does require a strong brand and strong positioning, but it is something important to keep in mind. And the fourth one is psychological pricing. In a nutshell, it comes down to the context in which your pricing will be viewed. So this can include things like charm pricing and scarcity and anchoring, just to change the perception of your price. For example, having more expensive products positioned next to the main one that you actually want to sell will make that one look like a better deal. Also, your product when appearing on your website may look like a better deal than when it appears on Amazon, where everything's super cheap.